a different story, a different identity. And that choice is yours, always, no matter the past, no matter what has been. You can choose again, you can imagine again, and in doing so you give new instructions to the universe. Do not let the old thoughts echo. Silence them with vision. Replace them with feeling. Whenever doubt knocks, answer it with the certainty of your inner experience. What you feel in imagination carries more weight than what you see in the world, because the world is delayed. It is old news. It is the afterglow of what you used to believe. But now you believe something new. Now you believe in the power within you to shape and create. You believe in your ability to speak in the language of emotion and be heard. And so you have already been heard. You have already received. And all that's left is for the outer to catch up to the inner. There is a sacred timing to all things, but it is never a punishment. Delay is not denial, it is preparation, it is orchestration, it is the unseen arranging itself for your benefit, and so you wait, not in anxiety but in faith, not in longing but in confidence. You wait as one who knows the promise has already been kept. You may not see how the pieces will come together. You don't need to. That is not your role. Your only role is to stay faithful to the end scene, the end state, the felt conclusion. Let that be your home. Let it be the place you return to, no matter what the outer world suggests. And you will notice something miraculous. Not only does the world begin to change around you, but you change. You carry yourself differently. You speak with authority. You make choices from a place of empowerment rather than desperation. You attract what matches your new state, not through manipulation, but through resonance. Because life is not happening to you, it is happening through you, through your focus, through your assumptions, through your most dominant inner state. And now, that state is the wish fulfilled. That state is completion. That state is answered prayer. Even as you sleep, you are radiating that truth. The silent language of your heart is speaking. The seed is planted, the field is fertile, and the harvest is certain. Let yourself sink deeper now into that feeling. Let every muscle relax. Let your breath slow. Let the story of your future self play softly in your mind like a lullaby. You do not need to force the details. Just feel the outcome. See the evidence on the faces of those around you. Hear the voice of someone congratulating you. Sense the quiet peace that comes when a chapter has been completed, when something long desired has finally arrived. It is here, not in a distant place, but in you. You are the doorway. You are the mirror. You are the vessel through which the unseen becomes seen. And the more you allow that truth to take root in you, the more the world must respond in kind. This is not a one-time act. This is a way of being. This is how you live now, not in the shadows of lack, but in the light of fulfillment. This is how you think now, not from the pain of what is missing, but from the joy of what is present in spirit. This is how you dream now, not from the limits of the past, but from the infinite possibilities of the now. Let your last thought before sleep be this: it is done. Let it echo in your being. Let it settle in your chest. Let it speak louder than fear, louder than fact, louder than history. It is done. And because it is done in you, it will be done for you. You do not need to ask again. You only need to remain. Remain in the state, remain in the knowing, remain in the feeling, and everything else will come. Because everything else is already on its way. And so you rest, not just your body, but your soul. You rest in the assurance that the universe, your subconscious, the divine, all have heard you. And all are now moving gently, silently, inevitably to bring to pass what you have already received in the secret place of your heart. Sleep now in peace. You have spoken, you have asked, and the answer is already yours. And now, as sleep gently cradles you, let all striving cease. Let your heart be light, your mind at ease, and your spirit at rest. You have asked in the only way that matters, by feeling it real, by assuming the end, by living the answer before it appears. You have whispered to the universe without words, and the universe has answered without delay. So rest in that silent certainty, carry the feeling of fulfillment into your dreams, and let the night do its sacred work. For what is real within must become real without, and it is done. There is a hidden power within you, a force so great that it can shape reality itself. It is not found in the stars, nor in the hands of fate, but in the deep well of your own imagination. Whatever you seek, whatever you long for, is already yours, if only you dare to believe it so. The secret is not in waiting, not in hoping, but in knowing. You must live as if the answer has already come, walk as if the path is already clear, and rejoice as if the victory is already won. Faith is not a passive state. It is the most creative act of all. It is the unwavering conviction that what is unseen is more real than what is before your eyes. It is not enough to wish, nor even to pray with longing. One must assume with absolute certainty that what is desired is already present. This is the key, the great mystery that turns dreams into reality. The world you experience is but a reflection of your own inner state. Change that state, and the world around you will move to match it. What would it feel like if your prayers were already answered? If the love you seek was already yours? If the wealth you desire was already in your hands? If the success you long for had already been achieved? Can you summon that feeling now, in this very moment? For if you can, you have unlocked the door. This is not a matter of chance, but of law, an unbreakable principle that governs the unseen forces of life. Believe that it is done, and it will be done. Step into the reality of your fulfilled desires and watch as the world bends to meet you there. To truly manifest, you must abandon the old habits of doubt and fear. You cannot ask for something while holding on to the belief that it is out of reach. You cannot pray for abundance while seeing yourself as lacking. You cannot seek love while feeling unworthy of it. The world responds not to your words, but to the state of being you dwell in. The moment you shift your awareness to the fulfillment of your desires, they must materialize. It is not enough to visualize, nor to speak affirmations in an empty ritual. You must embody the feeling of having received. When you close your eyes, do you feel the warmth of love surrounding you? Do you sense the freedom of financial abundance? Do you carry yourself as someone who already possesses all they have asked for? If you do, then the law is in motion. If you do not, then you must persist until the feeling becomes real within you. You must live each moment in the joy and certainty that your desire has already found you. When you wake in the morning, step into the day as the person who already possesses their dream. When you walk, walk as one whose heart is full of gratitude for the answered prayer. When you speak, let your words reflect the truth that it is already done. The universe does not delay in responding. It mirrors your deepest convictions instantly. What you accept as true within will become your truth without. The greatest barrier to manifestation is not the outside world, but the resistance within. Doubt is the voice of a mind still trapped in the illusion of separation from its desire. Fear is the whisper of an old self unwilling to let go of limitations. The mind will argue, it will seek evidence of lack, it will try to convince you that you must struggle. But you must be steadfast. You must refuse to give power to anything but the vision of your fulfilled desire. If you desire love, then be love. If you seek abundance, then radiate abundance in thought and action. If you yearn for success, then carry yourself as one who has already triumphed. The energy you put forth is what you receive in return. This is not a theory nor a philosophy. It is the law by which all things are made manifest. The universe does not play favorites. It simply reflects what you deeply believe to be true. The reason so many fail to see their desires fulfilled is not because they lack the power, but because they surrender to doubt before the miracle unfolds. They plant the seed but dig it up in impatience. They declare their wish, but then undo it with thoughts of fear and lack. The law does not work on hesitation, it works on conviction. You must hold fast to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, unwavering, unshaken, until it hardens into fact. This is not the way of the world, which teaches that you must see before you believe, but in truth you must believe before you see. Your external circumstances are the echoes of your internal state. If you persist in seeing yourself as small, the world will confirm it. If you walk in the assumption of greatness, life will rise to meet you there. There is no force outside of you determining your fate. It is you, always you, shaping your experience by the reality you choose to accept. Do not concern yourself with how things will unfold. The mind, bound by logic and reason, will try to force solutions, will attempt to map out the details, will demand proof. But the great secret is that you do not need to know the how. You need only dwell in the knowing that it is already done. The path will form itself. The means will come in ways you could not have foreseen. The world will shift to accommodate the assumption you have made. Every great transformation in life begins in the unseen. The tree exists within the seed before it breaks through the soil. The masterpiece exists in the artist's mind before the brush ever touches the canvas. The invention is real in the inventor's imagination before it takes physical form. Likewise, your answered prayer is real the moment you claim it as so within you. So, live now as though the dream has already been realized. Rejoice now as though the blessing is already in your hands. Love now as though you are already surrounded by the warmth of everything you have ever wished for. For the truth is, you are. The only thing that stands between you and your desire is the belief that there is a distance at all. Remove that illusion and you will see you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer. There is no delay in the fulfillment of your desire except the delay you place upon it, with doubt, hesitation, and disbelief. The moment you accept that what you desire is already yours, reality begins to shift in accordance with your belief. But you must not waver. You must not look to the world for validation before you believe, for the world is merely a mirror reflecting back the state you hold within. Every great achievement, every miracle, every transformation has followed this one principle. Live as though it is already done. There is no other path, no secret formula beyond this. Those who have risen from obscurity to greatness did not wait for the world to grant them permission. They assumed their success. They walked in the certainty of their destiny, and the world adjusted to their belief. To live in this way is to move beyond the limitations of the physical senses. The senses will try to deceive you, to tell you that you're still lacking, still waiting, still hoping. But your senses are merely the echoes of past assumptions. They do not define the future unless you allow them to. If you believe only in what you see, you remain bound to what has been. But if you believe in what you have imagined, if you claim it as real, then what has been will dissolve, and what must be will come forth. The law of manifestation is not about effort. It is not about forcing, struggling, or striving. It is about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and resting in that assumption. It is about dwelling in the end result, not in the process, not in the obstacles, not in the seeming delays. The moment you shift your focus from longing to knowing, from wishing to being, everything changes. Most people live in the constant state of waiting, waiting for a sign, waiting for circumstances to shift, waiting for something outside of them to give them permission to believe. But waiting is nothing more than the absence of faith. To wait is to assume separation from your desire. To wait is to tell the universe that you do not yet have what you seek. And so you remain waiting. But the one who lives as if their prayer is already answered never waits. They move, they speak, they breathe in the certainty that what they have asked for is already theirs. You do not become wealthy by waiting to see money in your hands. You do not become loved by waiting for another to prove their devotion. You do not become healthy by waiting for symptoms to disappear. You become all of these things by assuming them to be true now, by feeling within yourself the joy, the freedom, the peace that comes with already possessing them. If you wish to manifest love, you must first become love. You must carry yourself as though you are already cherished, already adored, already deeply valued. You must not seek love from a place of emptiness, for the world will only reflect that emptiness back to you. Instead, you must embody the fullness of love within yourself, and in doing so, love will be drawn to you effortlessly. If you wish to manifest wealth, you must no longer think in terms of lack, you must no longer speak of struggle nor entertain thoughts of limitation. Even before the physical evidence arrives, you must walk in the consciousness of abundance. You must feel as one who has more than enough, who is generous, who is free. Money is not a thing to be chased, it is a frequency to be aligned with, and that frequency is not one of desperation, but of certainty. If you wish to manifest success, you must no longer dwell in fear or hesitation. You must no longer ask if you are capable, if you are worthy, if you are enough. You must assume the identity of one who has already achieved what they desire. You must move through life with the confidence and authority of someone who knows that their success is inevitable. For as long as you question, you delay. But the moment you claim, the moment you know, the moment you embody your success, it begins to unfold before you. This is not a philosophy of wishful thinking, nor an illusion to escape reality. It is the very nature of creation itself. Every great visionary, every pioneer, every leader throughout history has understood this truth, whether they spoke of it or not. They did not rise by waiting. They did not rise by seeking proof before they believed. They rose because they believed first, and the world had no choice but to conform. The mind will resist this at first. It will say, "But I do not see it yet. How can I act as if it is already done when my senses tell me otherwise?" This is where faith begins. Not blind faith in something outside of you, but faith in your own divine power to create. You must silence the mind's arguments and lean entirely into the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Do not try to force belief. Instead, relax into it. Dwell in it. Let it become so real in your imagination that you can no longer tell the difference between what is seen and what is felt. And when doubts arise, as they inevitably will, do not fight them. Simply return to the feeling of already having what you seek. Do not wrestle with old thoughts, for what you resist you strengthen. Instead, shift your attention back to the reality you choose to inhabit. The more you do this, the more natural it will become. And soon, what was once only imagined will begin to manifest in ways so seamless, so effortless, that it will seem as though it was always meant to be. There is no limitation except the one you impose upon yourself. The universe does not judge your desires, does not weigh them as possible or impossible. It simply reflects back to you what you assume to be true. If you assume limitation, you will see limitation. If you assume abundance, you will see abundance. The choice is always yours. You must take nothing personally in this world, for all of it is simply a projection of the self. If you see lack, look within and ask where you have assumed lack to be true. If you see rejection, ask where you have rejected yourself. If you see struggle, ask where you have believed that struggle is necessary, and then shift, choose anew, assume differently, and watch how quickly the reflection changes. You are not separate from your desires. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the creator, the master, the divine force shaping every aspect of your reality. And the moment you step into this truth, the moment you claim your power with unwavering certainty, nothing will be withheld from you. Live now as though you already have all that you have asked for. Move now as though every prayer has been answered. Speak now as though you stand in the reality of your fulfilled dreams. And if you do this, truly, fully, completely, then you will never again wonder if manifestation is real. You will know because you will have lived it. There is no waiting in creation, there is only being. To wait implies that your desire is distant, that it exists somewhere outside of you, that time must pass before you can have it. But what if time were an illusion? What if distance were nothing more than a trick of the mind? What if, instead of waiting, you simply stepped into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled? You must understand that the moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it is done. The world you see, the circumstances you believe to be real, are but the shadows of past assumptions. They have no power except the power you continue to give them. If you wish to step into a new reality, you must withdraw your attention from what is and place it entirely upon what you have declared to be. Look at your life now, at the things you experience daily. Each one of them is the outpicturing of a past belief. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you accepted these circumstances as true, and so they became true. But what was once assumed can be assumed again, differently, with greater intent. And the moment you shift that assumption, reality must shift with you. It is not a matter of hoping or wishing. It is not about asking the universe to grant you something outside of yourself. You are not a beggar at the doorstep of creation. You are the creator, the authority, the one who declares what is real. Do not fall into the illusion that you must earn or prove your worthiness. Worthiness was never in question. The only question is, what will you assume to be true? If you truly believed that your desire was already fulfilled, how would you act? How would you think, speak, move? Would you still worry, still doubt, still second-guess your ability to receive? No. You would carry yourself differently. You would move with confidence, with peace, with a quiet certainty that all is unfolding exactly as it should. This is the state you must occupy, not just for a moment, but persistently, unwaveringly, until it becomes second nature. Your imagination is the blueprint of your reality. What you hold in your mind's eye as real will be made real. There is no exception to this. The only reason so many fail to see their desires manifest is that they continue to waver. One moment they believe, the next moment they question. One day they affirm their desire is done, the next they look for evidence, and finding none, they doubt. This back and forth keeps them stuck in a loop of delay. But you will not do this. You will stand firm. You will live as though the world has already conformed to your desire. You will carry yourself as though your success is inevitable, because it is. You will walk with the knowing that what you have imagined is more real than what you see before you. And in doing so, what you see will change. This is not about pretending. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing which reality you will accept. There are infinite possibilities, infinite versions of you existing right now. The only question is, which version will you align with? The moment you decide, the moment you shift into that state, you will notice the world around you begin to respond. Doors will open where before there were none. People will appear, opportunities will arise, events will unfold in ways you could not have predicted. But they will not come because you chased them. They will come because you became the version of yourself who already has them. They will come because you aligned with the state in which they naturally exist. You are never separate from what you seek. The idea that you must struggle, that you must prove yourself, that you must work tirelessly before you can receive, this is the greatest illusion of all. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists. Your only task is to claim it. To claim it means to dwell in the feeling of already having it. It means to let go of needing, longing, or hoping. It means to rest in the absolute certainty that it is done. Do not concern yourself with how it will come to pass. The how is not your responsibility. The moment you try to control the how, you step out of faith and back into doubt. Your only task is to remain in the state of fulfillment. If ever you waver, if ever you feel doubt creeping in, return to the feeling. Remind yourself that the world is only a reflection. Do not be fooled by appearances. They are temporary, malleable, subject to the power of your assumption. And so you must live now as the person who has already received. You must think from the place of your fulfilled desire, not of it. Do not look at your desire as something in the distance. Step into it now. Let it become real within you. If you desire wealth, stop thinking of yourself as someone who is striving for it. Assume the consciousness of wealth now. Feel the freedom, the ease, the confidence that comes with financial abundance. Speak as one who has already received. Do not speak of lack. Do not entertain thoughts of struggle. The more you focus on not having, the more you reinforce the state of lack. If you desire love, cease looking for it outside of yourself. Become the embodiment of love. Feel as though you are already cherished, already adored, already surrounded by deep affection. Carry yourself as one who is already in the perfect relationship, and as you do, love must find you because you have aligned with it. If you desire health, stop identifying with illness. Do not speak of symptoms. Do not dwell in the identity of someone who is unwell. Assume the state of perfect health. Feel yourself whole, strong, vibrant. Your body is a servant to your mind. It will reflect what you assume to be true. There is nothing outside of you that has power over you. No condition, no circumstance, no force greater than your own belief. The only reality that matters is the one you choose to accept. The only truth that exists is the one you declare as real. You may look around and say, "But I do not see it yet." And I tell you, the moment you see it, it is no longer creation. Creation happens in the unseen, in the assumption, in the knowing before the evidence appears. The evidence is always the last to arrive. It is the shadow of the belief that preceded it. Do not be swayed by appearances. Do not let the world tell you what is possible. You are the one who defines possibility. You are the one who shapes the world. If you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, nothing can stop its manifestation. Let go of doubt. Let go of waiting. Let go of the illusion that you must struggle. Step into your power. Step into your knowing. Live now as though everything you have asked for is already here. For if you do, you will soon discover the greatest truth of all, that you were never separate from your desires to begin with, that what you sought was always seeking you, that you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer, and the moment you finally accept this, the moment you finally believe, the world will have no choice but to bow to your assumption and deliver to you the life you have claimed as your own. There is no force outside of you deciding what you can or cannot have. There is no external power determining when or if your desires will come to pass. The only authority in your world is your assumption, what you accept as real, what you believe without question, what you feel is true even before the evidence appears. This is the key to all manifestation. The moment you truly grasp this, you will stop waiting for life to change and start living as the master of your reality. You must not allow yourself to be moved by appearances. The world you see is not solid, not fixed, not unchangeable. It is fluid, responsive, obedient to your inner state. What you experience today is merely the crystallization of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. But just as a river flows and changes course, so too can your reality shift the moment you decide it must. Most people believe they are subject to external conditions, that life happens to them, that they must react to whatever is placed before them. But this is a falsehood, an illusion that keeps them bound to circumstances they do not wish to experience. The truth is that life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are not here to be a spectator, you are here to be the creator. And so you must decide what you will accept as real. If you continue to see yourself as separate from your desires, you will remain separate from them. If you continue to act as though you are waiting, you will continue to wait. If you continue to seek validation from the external world before you believe, you will remain trapped in the cycle of delay. Instead, you must assume the state of the wish fulfilled. You must live from it, not toward it, not reaching for it, not hoping for it, but from it. This means feeling now as you would feel if your desire were already yours. This means thinking, speaking, and acting in accordance with the reality you have chosen. When you close your eyes, do you feel the joy of already having what you desire? Do you feel the relief, the peace, the certainty? Or do you still feel the longing, the separation, the waiting? If the latter, you must shift. You must make the feeling real within you for what is real within must become real without. There is no effort required beyond the effort to remain faithful to your assumption. The moment you accept something as true, the world begins to rearrange itself to match that truth. But you must not waver. You must not contradict your assumption with doubt, fear, or hesitation. You must hold fast to your vision, even when the world seems unchanged. Think of the seed planted in the soil. The gardener does not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. He knows that growth is inevitable, that the process is already underway. He trusts that the unseen forces are working to bring forth the harvest. So too must you trust in the unseen power within you. Your assumption is the seed. The moment you plant it in consciousness and nourish it with unwavering belief, it must bear fruit. Do not concern yourself with time. The mind, bound to the illusion of linear progression, will try to impose deadlines, will try to measure progress, will try to dictate how and when things should unfold. But manifestation does not operate on human schedules. It operates according to the law of assumption, which knows only certainty, not time. If you say, "I will have this someday," you have placed your desire in the future, and so it will remain in the future. If you say, "It is already mine," you claim it in the present, and the present must shift to reflect that claim. Do not wait for the world to change before you change. Change within, and the world will follow. Your emotions are the signal that tells you what state you are in. If you feel anxious, uncertain, doubtful, you are in the state of not having. If you feel calm, fulfilled, grateful, you are in the state of having. And what you persist in feeling, you will inevitably experience. This is why it is not enough to simply visualize or affirm your desire. You must feel it real. You must walk as though it is already done. You must breathe as though the thing you long for has already arrived. The universe does not respond to empty words. It responds to the frequency of your being. If you desire wealth, do not entertain thoughts of lack. Do not count pennies with a sense of desperation. Instead, embody the energy of abundance. Feel as though you have more than enough. Move through life with the certainty that you are financially secure, and as you do, wealth will be drawn to you in ways you cannot predict. If you desire love, do not seek it from a place of loneliness. Do not ask, "When will I find someone?" for in doing so you affirm that love is missing. Instead, feel as though love is already surrounding you. Carry yourself as one who is cherished, adored, deeply connected. And as you do, love will reveal itself effortlessly. If you desire health, do not identify with illness. Do not speak of symptoms. Do not dwell in the mindset of struggle. Instead, assume the state of perfect well-being. Feel yourself strong, vibrant, whole. Let that feeling become more real to you than anything the senses may suggest. And as you do, the body must align with the new assumption. There is no force outside of you deciding whether or not you are worthy. There is no test you must pass, no permission you must seek. The only requirement is that you believe. And belief is not something you wait for, it is something you choose. When you claim something as yours in consciousness, reality must catch up. When you persist in the assumption, when you refuse to entertain anything but the fulfillment of your desire, when you move as though it is already done, the world has no choice but to reflect your conviction. Many will tell you that change is difficult, that success requires struggle, that you must fight and toil to achieve what you want. But those who say this do not understand the law. They do not realize that effort in the external world is unnecessary when the internal world is aligned. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists in potential. Your task is not to force it into being, but to step into the version of yourself where it is already real. And when you do, when you truly accept that you are already living in the reality you desire, the outer world must shift to match it. And so you must not wait another moment. You must not delay your assumption by seeking proof before you believe. The proof will come after you believe. The change will appear after you have assumed it to be real. You must live now in this very moment, as though all you have asked for is already yours. You must walk with the assurance that the answer has already been given. You must speak with the confidence of one who knows that their desire has already materialized. You must think, feel, and move in the certainty that the unseen is more real than what is seen. For when you do, when you persist in this state, when you hold firm to your vision with unwavering faith, there will come a moment, sudden, effortless, inevitable, when the world shifts and you will look around and realize that what was once only imagined has become your reality. And in that moment you will know beyond all doubt that you were never separate from your desires, that what you sought was never outside of you, that it was always waiting for you to assume its reality. And the moment you did, it had no choice but to appear. You must not allow your current circumstances to dictate your belief. What you see before you is nothing more than the after-image of old thoughts, old assumptions, old states of being. If you judge reality based on what appears in the moment, you remain trapped in a cycle of repetition, recreating the same experiences over and over again. But if you dare to look beyond appearances, if you dare to accept that what you assume to be real will become real, then you will understand that nothing is fixed, nothing is beyond your power to change. You must walk each day in the absolute conviction that your desire has already been fulfilled, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. You must speak as one who already possesses all that they have ever longed for. You must carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their dream is not on its way, it has already arrived. The world responds to certainty, not hesitation. If you ask tentatively, if you approach life with an attitude of if only or I hope, then the world will reflect that uncertainty back to you. But if you assume with absolute conviction, if you declare within yourself that it is already done, the world will mold itself to that belief. Your task is not to figure out how your desire will come to pass. That is not your concern. The moment you begin to analyze, to strategize, to question whether it is possible, you introduce doubt, and doubt delays. The how is never your responsibility. Your responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to remain there undisturbed by appearances, unaffected by time, unwavering in faith. There will be moments when the world seems unchanged, when reality appears to contradict your assumption. But this is merely a test of your persistence. Most people falter here, allowing fear to creep in, allowing old doubts to reclaim their minds, but not you. You will remain steadfast. You will understand that the external world must take time to reflect the shift that has already occurred within you. And so you will stand firm in your knowing, regardless of what the senses may suggest. If you wish to be free, you must think only from the perspective of freedom. If you wish to be loved, you must feel yourself already loved. If you wish to be abundant, you must walk in the state of abundance now, even if the world tells you otherwise. You cannot wait for proof. You cannot wait for evidence before you believe. You must believe first, and the evidence will follow. Do not allow the mind to wander into questions of when or how. These are distractions, obstacles placed before you by an old way of thinking. Instead, anchor yourself in the feeling of already having received. Live in that feeling so completely that it becomes your new normal. Let it be the first thing you feel upon waking and the last thing you feel before sleep. Let it be so real to you that the world has no choice but to conform. Most people fail to manifest because they attempt to hold two conflicting states at once. They affirm their desire while still identifying with its absence. They speak of abundance while still feeling lack. They visualize success while still fearing failure. And in doing so, they remain in limbo, neither moving forward nor remaining still. You must not make this mistake. You must choose one state and abide in it fully. You are not bound by past failures, by former limitations, by old stories you have told yourself. At any moment, you can step into a new state. You can release every doubt, every fear, every lingering sense of unworthiness, and you can claim your birthright as the creator of your reality. The power has always been yours. The only thing required is that you accept it. Creation is not about force. It is not about effort. It is not about struggling to make something happen. It is about relaxing into the knowing that it is already done. It is about surrendering to the truth that what you have imagined is as real as anything you can touch, hear, or see. It is about moving with the assurance that the world is already aligning itself to match your assumption. There is nothing to chase, there is nothing to earn, there is nothing to prove. You need only be. Be the person who has already received. Be the one who no longer questions. Be the one who no longer waits. The moment you step into that being, the moment you take that identity as your own, the world will shift to confirm it. If you wish to see a change in your life, you must first become that change. If you want to experience joy, you must become joy. If you want to experience love, you must become love. If you want to experience success, you must become success. The external world will never give you what you are unwilling to assume as already yours. You must not waver when others question you. You must not look to the world for reassurance. The world will always reflect back to you what you most deeply believe. If you demand proof before you assume, you will wait forever. But if you assume without needing proof, proof will come. There is no difference between the great and the ordinary except in what they accept as true. The great do not wait for the world to confirm their success. They assume it, and the world falls into place. They do not ask whether they are worthy. They know they are, and the world mirrors that knowing. They do not hope for opportunities. They expect them, and so they appear. You must do the same. You must rise each day in the certainty that your dream is already real. You must act not from a place of wanting, but from a place of already having. You must speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. And when the world begins to shift, when the people, the circumstances, the opportunities begin to move in ways you could never have predicted, you will not be surprised. You will not be in awe. You will not marvel at the sudden transformation. You will simply nod in quiet assurance, knowing that it could never have been any other way. For you will have understood the greatest truth of all, that life has never been happening to you, it has always been responding to you. And now you finally know how to command it. You are the master of your reality. There is no external power, no unseen force deciding your fate. The only law that governs your life is the law of assumption. What you believe to be true must become true. There is no exception, no loophole, no special circumstance that can override this law. It is absolute, unwavering, and always working, whether you realize it or not. Look at the life you are living now. Every event, every relationship, every condition is a reflection of what you have previously assumed to be true. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you have accepted certain beliefs, and the world has dutifully mirrored them back to you. If you have experienced struggle, it is only because at some level you have accepted struggle as part of your story. If you have faced rejection, it is because you have unknowingly assumed yourself to be someone who can be rejected. If you have lived in lack, it is because you have believed in lack. But just as easily as you once assumed struggle, rejection, or lack, you can assume ease, love, and abundance. The power to write your story is always in your hands. It does not take time. It does not require effort. It requires only that you shift your awareness, that you step into the state of already having that which you desire. Most people go through life allowing circumstances to dictate their state of mind. They wait for things to change before they allow themselves to feel joy, success, or fulfillment. But this is backward. The world does not change first, you do. The moment you decide that you are already the person you wish to be, the moment you dwell so deeply in that state that it becomes your natural way of being, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. You must stop thinking of your desires and start thinking from them. There is a vast difference between the two. To think of your desire is to see it as something separate, something distant, something you must still work toward. But to think from your desire is to assume it is already yours. It is to feel the relief, the satisfaction, the absolute knowing that what you have wished for is already a part of your reality. What will it feel like if you already had everything you have ever asked for? Close your eyes and dwell in that feeling. Let it take over your being. Let it replace every doubt, every fear, every thought of separation. For as long as you remain in that state, it must manifest. The world must shift to match your new assumption. Do not waver. Do not let appearances deceive you. If you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up the next day to see if it is growing. You trust that the process is unfolding, that unseen forces are at work bringing your vision to life. So too must you trust in the power of your own assumption. The moment you claim something as yours, it is yours. The world may take time to catch up, but your only task is to remain faithful to your new reality. This is not wishful thinking. This is not pretending. This is the truth of how creation works. Everything you experience is the direct result of your state of being. Change the state, and the experience must change with it. Most people make the mistake of reacting to the world instead of creating it. They see lack and assume it is real. They see obstacles and assume they must fight against them. But the wise do not react. They create. They assume the feeling of already having what they desire, and they let the world rearrange itself accordingly. You must do the same. If you desire wealth, stop affirming that it is coming and start assuming that it is already here. If you desire love, stop seeking it outside of yourself and start embodying the feeling of already being loved. If you desire health, stop identifying with illness and start dwelling in the certainty of perfect well-being. And when the world begins to change, when circumstances shift, when opportunities arise, when what once seemed impossible suddenly unfolds effortlessly before you, you will not be surprised. You will not doubt. You will not marvel at your own power. You will simply nod, knowing that it could never have been any other way. For you will have lived as though your desire was already yours, and in doing so, you will have made it so. There is nothing more to seek, there is nothing more to wait for. There is only the assumption, the unwavering belief, the feeling of already being the person you wish to be. And once you step into that state fully, completely, without hesitation, the world will yield to you. It will reshape itself in your image. It will bring to you all that you have claimed as yours. Because the greatest secret is this: you were never separate from your desires. They have always been within you, waiting for you to assume them as real. And the moment you do, they will be. You now hold the key. You now understand that the world is not something you must struggle against, not something you must beg for, not something you must wait on. The world is your mirror, reflecting back only what you assume to be true. So, what will you assume from this moment forward? Will you continue to see yourself as someone who is waiting, longing, hoping? Or will you step boldly into the knowing that everything you desire is already yours? Will you walk as one who has already received, who no longer questions, who no longer seeks, but simply is? This is your moment of decision. This is the moment where you stop letting life happen to you and start commanding it from within. Live now as though all your prayers have been answered. Move now as though the reality you once dreamed of is already here. Breathe now as though nothing is missing, as though nothing has ever been missing. For the truth is, nothing ever was. You were never separate from your desires. You were never unworthy. You were never powerless. You were always the creator, the authority, the force that shapes reality itself. And now, knowing this, you can never go back to living as though you are anything less. Go forth not in hope, but in certainty. Go forth not as a seeker, but as one who is already found. Go forth and live as if God has already answered, because He has. There comes a time in life when you find yourself walking a road that seems lonely, a path where familiar faces fade and the world you once knew feels distant. You wonder why relationships crumble, why the people you once trusted slip away, and why silence becomes your closest companion. But what if this solitude is not a punishment, but a divine invitation? What if God is setting you apart, not to break you, but to awaken something within you that only isolation can reveal? Every great transformation begins with separation. The seed must be buried in darkness before it can break open and reach for the light. The caterpillar must be wrapped in stillness before it can take flight. And so it is with you. God calls you into solitude because there are things He must whisper to your soul that the noise of the world would drown out. He removes the distractions, the opinions, the expectations, and even the comfort so that you may come face to face with your own divinity. When everything around you is stripped away, you begin to see clearly. You recognize that your strength was never in the crowd, but in the one who breathed life into you. You discover that your worth was never in validation, but in the truth that you were chosen before the foundation of the world. You realize that what you thought was loneliness was actually alignment, a sacred preparation for the destiny that awaits you. God isolates His chosen ones because He has called them to something greater. You cannot carry the weight of divine purpose while clinging to the things that no longer serve you. You cannot step into new blessings while holding on to old attachments. So He removes, He refines, He resets. The people who walked away were not meant to stay. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers were not meant to hold. The places you outgrew were not meant to contain you. If you feel alone, understand that you are not abandoned. You are being elevated. This is the moment where you must trust, not in what you see, but in the unseen hand that is guiding you. The stillness is not emptiness. It is an open space where God can pour into you without interference. The silence is not rejection. It is an invitation to hear Him more clearly. You were never meant to fit in because you were created to stand out. You were never meant to walk with the crowd because you were destined to lead. And if the journey feels lonely, it is only because God is calling you higher. Let this solitude mold you, strengthen you, and prepare you. Because when the time comes, you will not return as the person you once were. You will rise as the person you were always meant to be. There is a deep mystery in being set apart, one that the world does not understand. It is easy to believe that solitude is a sign of rejection, that isolation means something has gone wrong. But in the divine order of things, to be set apart is to be prepared, and to be alone is to be strengthened. If you find yourself in a season where doors have closed, where people have walked away, where familiar comforts no longer satisfy, then you must understand this. God has removed you from the noise so that He may speak to you in the silence. You were not created to blend in with the world. You were not designed to follow the patterns of those around you. You are different, chosen, called for something greater than the ordinary rhythm of life. And when God calls someone into their true purpose, He often begins by stripping away everything they thought they needed. He takes away the things that were never truly theirs to keep. He removes the relationships that would have hindered their growth. He separates them from distractions, from false security, from the need for approval, because only in this sacred solitude can the truth of who you are be fully revealed. The discomfort of isolation is not meant to break you, but to refine you. When God removes everything familiar, He is asking you to trust in something greater than what your eyes can see. The foundation of your life is being rebuilt, your mind is being renewed, your spirit is being prepared for what is coming. And though it may feel painful, though it may feel as if you are wandering without direction, know this: nothing is being taken away that will not be replaced with something far greater. Look at the lives of those who were used mightily by God, and you will see a pattern. Every great leader, every great teacher, every great visionary was first called into isolation. Moses was set apart in the wilderness before he could lead. Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned before he could rule. David was anointed but had to endure years of solitude before he could wear the crown. Even Jesus himself withdrew into the wilderness before stepping fully into his divine purpose. Why? Because there are lessons that can only be learned in solitude. There is strength that can only be gained in stillness. There is a voice that can only be heard in silence. You have been called into this season not to suffer, but to transform. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are not being abandoned, you are being positioned. And though your mind may seek answers, though your heart may long for understanding, faith will teach you that the answers do not come from the world, but from within. The solitude is not meant to weaken you, it is meant to awaken you. It is a divine reset, an invitation to step into a new reality, one where you no longer rely on what is external, but on the infinite power that has always been within you. In this season you must release the need for validation. You must let go of the illusion that you need people to complete you. You must surrender the idea that you are missing something, because the truth is, nothing has been lost. What is truly yours can never be taken from you. The people meant to walk with you will return in divine timing. The doors that need to open will do so effortlessly. But first you must come to know yourself without all the external distractions. You must stand in your own presence, unshaken by the absence of others, unwavering in your faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Solitude is a mirror. It reveals what is hidden. It strips away the masks. It forces you to face the parts of yourself that have been neglected, the wounds that have been ignored, the fears that have been buried. And it is in this sacred unveiling that true healing begins. Because when everything external is removed, you are left with the only thing that ever truly mattered, your connection to the divine. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can comprehend. Every great transformation requires a period of isolation. Every masterpiece begins in the unseen. Every destiny is first shaped in the quiet places before it is revealed to the world. And so if you find yourself alone, do not despair, do not resist, do not seek to escape the silence. Instead, embrace it. Dive into it. Listen to the whispers of your soul, for in this stillness, in this sacred solitude, you will find the very thing you have been searching for all along. You will come to see that you were never truly alone, you were never abandoned, never forsaken. The presence of God has been with you all along, guiding you, shaping you, preparing you. And when the time comes, when the season of isolation has done its work, you will emerge renewed, transformed, awakened. You will not return as the person you once were. You will return as the person you were always meant to be. And the world will see the light that has been ignited within you, the strength that has been forged in the silence, the power that has been birthed in solitude. For now, trust the process, trust the unfolding, trust that every moment of isolation is leading you closer to your higher self, to your divine purpose, to the life that has been waiting for you all along. And when the time is right, when the preparation is complete, the doors will open, the right people will come, and everything that is meant for you will be revealed.